everybody, I'm Brant, and today I'm putting together the Strich STL D10 guitar kit. I want to use all the stock parts that came with it. Just to keep the video length down, I may fast forward through some sections, but I'm going to keep the timer going so I can kind of get a gauge on how long did it take me to put it together. I've got the guide, the instruction manual here, which I'm going to be referring to only to see what they say. I'm going to be ignoring the finishing part and just looking at the assembly instructions. So I've got all the parts laid out. I'm going to be using just pretty much a screwdriver. They did include tools with the kit. They included this socket wrench, which I believe is going to come in handy for the tuners. And they also included a couple of Allen keys, one for adjusting the truss rod and one for adjusting the saddle screws. Also in the kit, I got strings and a power cable. I'll be using these strings, which are just 6 strings in a bag, not labeled or anything. So I have to figure out which is which. And it also included a string winder. And I have all the other parts here, the control plate, bridge plate, tuners. So let's go ahead and get started. Setting the timer. So first of all, we are going to install, it looks like, the tuners. Use the screws to fix knobs on the back of the car. I've already wasted 2 minutes just organizing parts. All right, so these are going to go in like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started putting some of these screws in. I'm not going to tighten them down super tight. And I am not altering the guitar at all in this build process. I'm going to be taking it apart to do the finishing at some point. But I am going to build it straight out of the kit. I'm not going to sand anything. I'm not going to do anything other than assemble it as is. All right, I didn't screw any of those down super tight. I'm going to go ahead and put these guys on. These little ferrules with the washers. Sorry, bushings. What's the difference between a ferrule and a bushing? Do bushings screw around something and ferrules don't? I'm going to use their tool. All right, that's as snug as I'm going to get those. There's one screw I might have to drill just a little bit deeper. It's not quite seated all the way. Everything else, they're a little loosey-goosey. All right, so that's 8 minutes in and 1 page down. Oh, God. All right, what's next? So it wants me to install the guitar bridge and pickups. And I mentioned before, now normally I would do the control plate first and this part last, because typically on a Telecaster-style guitar, there is a ground wire going, I believe, from the volume pot through into this cavity, and then there's usually a little hole right in here that it'll go up and slip up so you can set it underneath the bridge plate to ground it. There is no such hole or ground wire in this kit. So again, I am assembling it as they have instructed. using only their parts. All right, so that's in. Everything seems to line up. Let's get these screws in there. I am trying to be careful and not too speedy. I'm not trying to worry about the time too much. I don't want to put any other dents or scratches in the guitar. All right, 2 pages down. So now it wants me to install the control plate. I will say it looks like they've color coded their wires. So yellow is neck, red is bridge. I had a little bit of difficulty differentiating the wires between the humbuckers on the Lorian kit. It wants me to connect jack. Well, let's go ahead and put the jack in. It kind of says that's the last step, but I think I'll do it now. I had to get something to loosen the jack from the plate because I am having a hard time getting this plate to fit on here. 23 minutes in. So we've got everything hooked up now. I think it is time for the control plate. So we are going to match all the wires. So again, we don't have a ground going to the bridge plate on this guitar. So what else do we have to do here? I've got to put on strap buttons. I don't have to, but I'm going to. Yep, that's the next step, according to the manual. That is the body done. 32 minutes in. And I got to get the neck on. So let's do that. Oh, and then I'll put on the strings and the string trees. Ah, it does have a logo. It was just upside down. They do have a Strich logo. Okay. Let's see how this, I haven't even checked to see how this neck fits in the body. I'm going to move this back a little bit so it doesn't hit anything here. That's pretty tight. That's pretty tight. I mean, it'll come up, but it's it feels pretty snug in there. So about 40 minutes to get that all assembled. Now I have to put on guitar strings. I'm going to be using the strings they provided. This is not a string through body. It is a hardtail. So I'm just getting ready to install these string trees. One hour and 19 seconds. Now I still have to tune it, and there are instructions in here for checking the truss rod, checking the string height, and checking the intonation. Oh man, that action's a mile high. That's really high. Wowzers. Yeah. Let me make some adjustments, tune this up. I don't know that I'm going to worry about intonation so much. And then we can see what it sounds like. Get it set up in about an hour. Taking your time. Not bad. Not bad at all. Went together pretty easy. All right, let me get to that and I'll be back. All right, that's how it sounds. Not bad. Let me give you some specs here that I took off camera. The resistance on the pickups, the neck is coming at 6.2, middle position 3.2, and the bridge pickup 6.6. Not terrible. I don't think they sound horrible. I measured the gear ratio, and these 15 to 1. I saw Ted's video on Strich Stratocaster that he got. Same thing, and clearly advertised on Amazon. 18 to 1 tuners. Nope, 15. It's interesting. Had the same issue with the Acklot Lorian. Advertised as 18, but only 15. There's some shady tuner dealers out there, I guess. This weighs in at 6.5 pounds, unfinished. I didn't really run into any issues assembling this guitar. It went together pretty well. There are some similarities with the Acklot kit. There's at least one screw on one of the tuners that I'm going to have to drill a little bit further down. And the switch, I had to move the switch around in order to get it in there, to get the holes on the plate to line up correctly. But I'm still not positive that it's really in a good spot. Everything else seems fine. Everything works great. The neck was really tight, putting it in the neck pocket. I thought that was a really good sign. It felt really, really firm in there. The string trees I had to drill. They were not pre-drilled holes for those string trees. So after I got the strings on, I drilled the holes for those. Beyond that, everything else is as it was on the guitar. I have no ground wire. I honestly, I don't know if that's making any difference or not. Let me know in the comments, like what should I be expecting not having that, because I haven't noticed anything that's alarming. So, do you need that? I don't know. Setup on this guitar. So I did have to adjust the truss rod. There was too much relief in this neck. And when I assembled it, the action was crazy high. Crazy high. However, it's still high, and my saddles are down there. So that's not great. And because of that, these saddle screws are poking up a lot, and I am very much noticing it. In fact, it's the first time on a guitar where it's actually a problem for me. I have not been enjoying palm muting some songs. Can he even do that? It's been hurting. These are so high. I do have shorter saddle screws, but I promised that I would just use what was in the kit, and that's what I've done. I'll address that at some point when I mod this. But because of those things, this is pretty apparent to me that one, I'm going to have some nut issues that I need to address. Just in, the nut height's not quite there. And I'm going to have to probably shim the neck to get that action a little bit better. Well, I don't know what I'm doing with this guitar. I don't know what its future is yet. I have some ideas for something. I don't know if that's going to be this guitar or something else. Or even come to fruition at all. I do not know. So I'm going to wait on finishing this. I think if I do finish it and not do something special, just to finish it and keep it or sell it, I'm not sure yet. I'll probably just do a spray paint, but to be decided. Nothing's set in stone. That's for sure. And upgrades and whatnot, I think the tuners are definitely going to need it. Everything else remains to be seen. It depends on what I plan on doing with this guitar. No string through body. Did I mention that? Maybe I'll have to get a router. Anyway, so that's it. That's a Strich. I forgot the model number. Tele DIY kit, all put together. Taking my time in about an hour. I really actually have been enjoying playing this guitar quite a bit. It's fun, and I'm excited to see what happens to this in the future. But in the meantime, I've got some other things coming up. So, thanks again for watching. And as always, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Cheers.